Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to something that I have not done in a long time, which is drive a fast lap around a track without crashing. So, tonight's video, I'm going to give a lastminute.com guide on how to get the gold on the current time trial on Gran Turismo, which expires tomorrow. So, watch this video, be quick, get some laps in. I'm going to make this a really quick video. I'm not going to edit it or anything like that. I'm just recording it straight away as if it was live. And for an additional challenge, I'm going to be doing this video using a car which is not one of the meta cars to have around this track. If you want to make your life simple, go and grab yourself a GR Supra. It's a beautiful car. It drives very fast. Make sure you shift it just before the red line, around where the shift indicator, around where your gear is on screen. So short shifting it, and you'll do fine. But I want an additional challenge to make this a little bit spicy, a little bit picante, as the Italians might say. So I am taking my Lamborghini, which I am in love with because it is probably the nicest livery I've come up with in ages. And that's the main reason I'm doing it, just because I like looking at myself. So I'm going to be taking you around in this slightly underpowered Lamborghini. It's not really the fastest down the straights, but I'm going to be showing you how you can drive like an absolute madman and make up the lap time. The lap time I'm about to show you is enough for the top 2%. It's not my fastest time because I set that with a Supra because that's the car to have. But this time was within a tenth of the Supra, and I hope you enjoy the video. We're going to do a lap where I pause it and then a lap where I commentate live. The laps are going to be from the nose camera because that's the one I use. And without further ado, here we go. This is how to get a gold without being an alien on the Tokyo Expressway South Counterclockwise Challenge. What a mouthful. Now, right, here we go. So we're coming down into turn one, and your eyes need to be at the start of the heavy part of the paint on the right. I say heavy part of the paint. You see these these dots and dashes on the lane on the right. That means that there is a corner coming up and you should slow down. Well, it turns out that racing works the same. So as you come up to those lines there, you just want to start applying the brakes so that you are slightly on full brake just for like a second down into fourth gear. You don't want to be too hard on the brakes. Watch what I do. I'm going to pause it at several points through the corners. You can see my braking trace. Keep an eye on those two bars in the middle of the screen. You'll see what I do. So we passed the 50. I'm on full brake and I'm off full brake. You see that? Blink and you'll miss it. I was on full brake, down a gear, and then off, and then I'm coasting the car, and I'm aiming for not the lamppost that you see right in front of you, but the lamppost behind it. You see there is a lamppost just there where I'm pointing the camera right now. That is my trajectory, and I am aiming to come as close to that piece of tarmac as I dare. So you see here, now I've basically hit that lamppost. There you go, there's the base of the lamppost. So that's what I was aiming to do. And look at the throttle. I am nowhere near the throttle, okay? I am basically just feathering it round the corner, just a trace of throttle, until I know that I'm going to make it round the corner. How do you know you're going to make it round the corner? Well, you see that blind spot there that I can't see around? As soon as I can see around that, that's time for full throttle. There you go, full throttle. Drift the car out to the outside, and that's how little room I left to the side of the track. Now, have a break, have a Kit Kat. Pick your nose, do what you want. We are coming down a very long straight, but regather your thoughts and focus, and you're looking for the rumble strip on the left. So there's a rumble strip here on the left just before the 100. Don't brake at the 100, that's too late, you'll miss the corner. You want to be braking as far, well, actually, important point, let's just back up here. Look how far to the left I am. That's how far to the left you really want to be. You could maybe even push it even further, but then you're risking a penalty, and you'll mess it up more often than not. So just really as close to the white line as you can, and looking for that rumble strip, and I'm braking just so that I'm on full brakes as I hit the start of the rumble strip. Then we're going to brake in a straight line, and then we're just going to back off the brakes ever so gently and bleed the brakes out as we turn right, like this. Full brakes. And you see now, I'm lifting off the brakes. This is what I was referring to some of the guys in Ultimate Racing League in League 3. I was saying about trail braking into every corner, even a right-angled corner like this. trail braking has its place. So I'm trail braking here just so that I can get away with braking just that little bit later. Car positioning, you want to be right over the inside of the curb as far as you can. And then this is really tricky here. You need to gather the car up, and I short shifted into second, bring it back in to kiss this inside here like this, bring it back out, and then back in. Right, and you can see I'm just playing with the throttle there just to rectify my line. If you can get this in one constant motion, you're going to be really good. You want to be as far over that line as you can be, and I'm short shifting again because right now we've got a problem. Does anyone want to put in the chat at this timestamp right now what you think the problem is? Right, well the problem is that I'm currently facing to the left and the corner goes to the left. Right, really, you want to be over to the right for a corner that goes over to the right, but this is what's known as a compound corner. So what you want to do, right, is you want to try and widen out the entry as much as you can. So you see here, I've not let my car go all the way to the yellow bits over there, and I've kept it sort of parallel with these, and then I'm just having to lift off and bring it in as close to the barrier as I dare. I don't think that's actually the fastest way around there, by the way. I think I needed to sacrifice a little bit more entry there. But anyway, that's the way I did it. That's enough for gold. So, you know, if you want a gold, just listen to me. If you want to be a world record holder, don't listen to me. Anyway, so now this corner's really fiddly, and I don't like to take risks through here because this will be where you throw away most of your laps on this corner, right? Basically, I'm braking kind of... It's hard to describe this one because it's kind of in no man's land. That's what kind of makes it difficult. I would say, like, my eyes were looking for the beginning of these chevrons here, except I was trying to just mentally brake like a car length before, right? And I'm keeping it in fourth gear, and look at my throttle. My throttle's very, very low, and I'm just taking a steady line, and look how close I'm getting to the barrier. The closer you can get, the better, because then you can get on full throttle. My cue for getting on full throttle is actually this little sign here. This is the beauty of street tracks, really, because street tracks, you get lots of road signs and things as cues, and that little sign over to the right there is my cue. As soon as my camera's past that from nose camera, I know that I can go full throttle. Nice easy bit now. We're going down the least straight in existence through a tunnel. So just hug the wall. And hug the other wall. Just keep hugging the walls. Just give it a nice cuddle whilst you're there. And then you've got to refocus yourself here. You want to be on the far left, as always. Not politically, I mean. Far left on the track, obviously. And just remember that you're going to a Hamacho, right? That's the lane you want to be in. The second left to Hamacho. No. Joking aside, let's stop joking. Let's basically the pit mark, not the pit marker, the turn marker, the brake marker. There we go. I'm doing this in one take, right? Is not as you go under the 150. It's just a heartbeat after. So sort of. Like it's also not this strut up here, but basically just like let your car just pass it and then get on the brakes. In fact, you know what, I'm going to change my mind. It's basically just before the strut. I hadn't realised that, but I was just sort of like waiting just a car length until after I'd passed the 100. The important thing here is braking a straight line because you know, like grip and everything. And then what I'm doing here is not braking in a straight line. I'm just slightly Ving off the corner ever so slightly. And then what I'm going to do is get my foot off the brake once I've reached a speed where I can get around the corner. Right, and I'm just going to now follow the corner around. Now I'm way off the line here. I think I lost a couple of tenths. But what you want to focus on, the most important thing, is fighting the power. Fight the power on the way out of the corner, right? Just pretend that you're political and everything, right? You want to get on the power nice and smooth. Don't put much steering lock in, right? Look how I let the car drift out to the outside here. It had more grip than that, but it didn't have more traction. So I didn't have traction control on for this, by the way. Other pro tip, get used to driving without it. It's faster. Right, and we're going to come up now to what I call the improv sector. because this sector, I genuinely think, is where I'm losing all of the time to the world record holders. Right, what I'm basically doing is I'm just going to blip it down a gear, and I'm aiming for this sign here. You see the sign that's not facing us, the one in the right-hand lane over there? That's kind of my marker. So you see there, like, we didn't actually go under it because it's on the wrong side of the track, but I used that to sort of gauge where I want the car to turn in here. And then I'm just playing with the throttle because I don't want to be anywhere near those crosshatches. You want to be sort of in the left-hand lane here so that you can then ease off the throttle, pull the car to the inside, and then ease off the throttle again and pull the car to the inside. Now, the challenge here is that you're now over on the far left of the track and there's a right-hander coming up. Bit of a problem, isn't it? So, sorry, a left-hander coming up. You're on the left of the track and there's a left-hander coming up. So I've got to quickly nip the car across, but the important thing is don't brake too hard too late. Right, I'm braking nice and early, get the speed off the car and then power through it. So you see here that I'm now off the brake and I'm just coasting the car through. There's a tiny bit of throttle here and I'm just slowly picking up that throttle. You see there? And then giving it a wide berth because there's a bit of camber on the corner. Take the shortest line to the finish line, and there you go. It is a 1:56.865. My best was about a tenth of a second faster than that, but in a Supra. Right. Gather your breath. Have a rest. We're going to do it again. Right, I'm going to play it again. This time I'm not going to pause it. This time I'm just going to play it all the way through. Okay, so I'm just going to come back around to the start of the lap. You know what, I'm going to do it from this camera, just for a bit of variety. Right. And here we go. In fact, you know what, I'm not. I'm going to do it from this camera, because some people use this camera, and also I think this highlights how close I'm getting to the curbs as well, which is really important. Right, I'm not going to pause it after this, I promise. So brake just before the 50, ease off on the power only when you're sure you're going to get round. Nice long straight, relax a little bit. This is a good point to restart the lap if you didn't have a good first corner. And then I'm looking for the curb on the left. Curb, 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 there we go. And I'm trail braking there. Short shifting, follow the line. And then just having to ease off ever so slightly there so that I don't understeer into that barrier. So here, just braking. Actually, there's some paint on the road there where you can use as a marker. I didn't realise that. And then, nice long run through the tunnel. Be sure to like and subscribe whilst you're driving through the tunnel. Be sure to hit the bell icon so that you get all of my spam. And then we are going down to that 150. Oh, I paused it, didn't I? I said I wouldn't. Oh well. Right, look how wide I was there. There's at least a tenth to find there if I wasn't so wide. And then, as I say, this is the improv sector. Drive it by feel. That's my advice. Drive this by feel, just ease off. I'm just being gentle with the throttle, keeping the car in the right part of the road. And then I could have been a bit closer to the inside barrier there, I think, but overall, not bad. You don't have to do heroics to get the gold here, and I hope that proves it. So good luck, and I hope you enjoy it, and I'm sorry that you've only got a day to follow the advice, but I hope it helps, and I will probably upload another video sometime in the future, who knows. Right, Panic at the Tesco, signing out.